Hey, Cowie.
Yeah.
72 hours. Well, maybe 70 now.
Yeah, we're getting closer to the big moment.
So, Cowie, I'm gonna test out a couple answers on here with you, just to see what your response might be.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got Recourier. Recourier is gonna give us a grand tour of the CryptoMonkeys plot and the Metaforce plot, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, so Cowie, can you uplist me? Is
Uh
that a is that like a yeah, you're on the list, or is that like a hard pass?
uh Look, it's if you ask me like that, then probably I'm leaning towards a hard pass, but if you give me an actual reason why you should be on the list, and why you think that you deserve to be, or maybe you want to uplift others and indicate them to be on the list, then that's pretty cool.
I love all that you guys do. I'm really a big fan of Yoshi coins. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't had the chance to actually buy any lands in the uplift yet, but I really think it'd be a fun place for me to come and hang out with my kids. And I'm grateful for all you guys do in the space. Would it be possible for maybe me to get on the uplist?
Yeah, sure. Just hit me up with your Wax wallet, and I'll probably get you a place if I can.
I DM'd you like 5 minutes ago and you didn't respond. Why won't you add me to the uplist?
Yeah, well, you might not ever be added to the uplist. I'm so sorry.
One of my favorite projects in the space is Metaforce. I have mapped every single thing on their plot, and I'm keeping a running log. And at some point in time, I want to do my own live streams on your show because Metaforce is awesome. They're like real live human superheroes. Plus, I love Yoshi coins, and I'm grateful for NFTs in general. And, I might just be getting my ass kicked over in London by zombies, and maybe the zombies in these new worlds are going to be kinder. Can I have an uplist ticket, please?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can hook you up with one. Why not?
Great. Obviously, our disclaimer is that this does not actually represent any real people. Any resemblance to real people on our Telegram channel, whatever that disclaimer is that they put on the back of movies, that's the one that you're supposed to insert here. But yeah, they're just made up stuff. But like we want to create this scenario, this situation where we're building communities, and Callie and I are lucky enough that over the last, I don't know how it's been 3 days. That's ridiculous, by the way. But over the last 3 days, we've met with some amazing communities that are building, things in the Uplift world and bringing their communities into the Uplift world. Projects. That's kind of how it all started. But we want people to bring their friends and their families and come in and hang out, right? Like that's how this all started. And so the whole point of this uplist essentially is to bring people into our fold that matter, that care about it, right? Like the idea is if you care about it to give us a good answer, then we're probably going to put you on the list, right? We're trying to weed out bots. We're trying to weed out other people. We want real people doing real things to be a part of our project. Speaking of which, we have Recourier on the line, and one of my favorite things that I've ever heard in the crypto space that maybe pissed some people off, but I'm here for it. Even if it pissed people off, was the fact that, they just came out with their Metaforce release. And I'm probably going to be the pissed off person in 6 months because I'm so freaking busy. I don't even know how much time I have left. But if you didn't open those packs, they're going to expire and you'll never be able to open them. And the whole idea behind why you guys did this was, you wanted to create a community where people, we're having actionable results to be able to, be a part of everything that you guys are creating. So I really respect that. And I really respect you as a person. I've been like on this, weird like little screen so long that I can't figure out whether my signal is wrong because there's like little wavy, lines in front of me that like look like rainbow colors, like back in the day when your antenna was like broken. So I'm going to shell out a little bit and do some stuff. But I think Cowie has some questions for you that he wants to ask you about like everything that you do, which is nuts.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we can just start with an introduction. I'm pretty sure that most people that follow us know about both Metaforce and CryptoMonkeys. But if you can just introduce yourself and what you do with each of the projects, and and or if you want to represent just one of them in the stream, it's also fine. It's really up to you. And just, you know, who is Recourier and what are you doing and what's the project's about, and we can get to more stuff later on.
So I've been in the crypto space at large for several years now, and before the NFT areas of things really started growing as it has in the last year, I spent most of my time looking at different just crypto projects, and I've been involved in a couple different communities in a couple different capacities, some community management, some just being part of the community. I came really to the NFT space a lot through Upland. I started playing around with that last year, as that was really kind of earlier on in its beta, and met a bunch of people through that. And then there was talk of integration with Wax, and so I got involved in the Wax space, and I made essentially like a virtual comic book shop that I called Uplift Comics and Collectibles. And with that, I said, well, if I'm going to be an NFT, like a virtual NFT spot, let me get to know all of these projects. So I got involved in a lot of the projects, you know, right when they came out, got really excited, got packs and everything. And from that, I started doing a lot of collaboration with my Upland Comics brand. We would do these monthly giveaways, and CryptoMonkeys had approached me and said, hey, we want to work with you on a monthly giveaway. This was very shortly after they had started their distribution model, because the CryptoMonkeys distribution model is they give out all of the NFTs for free. And so pretty quickly after I started talking with them, they said, hey, we want you to be an official part of the CryptoMonkeys team. And so I jumped at the chance for sure. I loved it. So I then became an official CryptoMonkey team member, and I help out with certain things, you know, behind the curtains. And then I do a lot of the public stuff, public speaking and things of that nature, interviews and whatnot.
Don't look behind the curtains.
Yeah.
It's secret passes only.
This is the secret. This is the secret. That's where I keep all my Metaforce stuff. When we were planning it out, I kept it on the wall, and then when I did interviews, I had to close it up again. So yeah, I literally was working behind the curtain. That's funny. So I got involved with CryptoMonkeys, and while I was doing the CryptoMonkey stuff, some guys that I had met through Upland also were into comic books and had kind of similar ideas as me. And really, it was Mars Utah, who is everybody who knows Metaforce knows Mars, and Left House. And we started talking about the different things we wanted to do, and we all got together and we said, hey, we want to do a comic book, and we want to really do a big project. And then as we were building, we realized we needed a little help with the website and stuff like that. And we were all friendly with T. Davis, and he ended up getting in the mix, and he became one of our founding members as well. And Mars works with another guy, 80K Original, that does the art with Mars, and he's our fifth founder. So we all came together and made Metaforce. So now, you know, I'm on the Metaforce team and the CryptoMonkeys team. Now this comes to the point where I had got invited on with Jimmy and Corey to talk about CryptoMonkeys. And we had a really good time. We talked about CryptoMonkeys and Banana and everything with that. And we started, this was like just barely, it was so crazy. It was a very Corey thing, because he was like, hey, I'm doing a thing, but nobody knows about the thing, but I had fun. Like, what are you doing Friday afternoon? And I'm like, I don't know, I'll be around. And so he's like, all right, I'm going to hit you up with a link. So he hits me up with a StreamYard link, and he's like, hey, so this is just, we're just going public with this for the first time, and you're along for the ride. So I was like, awesome. I'm in. So that was like kind of the first very public unveiling pre-alpha, pre-alpha. I don't. There's not even a letter for it. Of the Uplift, and this was back in the old Genesis world, the origin map, when that was like enormous and figuring out how things were going to work. And he's like, we're just going to fly around and look at stuff. And we just flew around and looked at stuff. And then he's like, dude, you got to get in here. So I've never played Minecraft. And then I make a Minecraft account, and then Greg jumps in, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do. And they had creative mode. At that time, the map itself wasn't creative. It was a survival map, and people had creative mode. So they just start chucking tools at me, and they're like, I don't know, go dig that and go over here. And they built a little hole in the ground, and they're like, you're in the world now, man. Go have fun. And I was getting killed constantly. I would fall in holes and die. I would fall in lava and die. Mobs were turned on. So I had these the sea creature mobs constantly killing me and everything. So we talked about it, and he's like, okay, you got to get a CryptoMonkeys map in here. And we started working on that. And we got Cushbud, who's one of our builders, and Bantano got in there, and Byron got in there, and we all were doing stuff. And we said, listen, Metaforce isn't live yet, but it's going to be live, and it's going to be a real project, you know. And Corey was like, yeah, let's do it. I'll give you the spot right next to CryptoMonkeys. So then we had this idea to connect the two lands and put tunnels and whatever. And it was just a lot of fun, going and building and doing all of this stuff. And then that's when it finally came up, like, okay, for technical reasons, we have to move the maps around, and your guys are going to move over here, and blah, 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 blah. During that time, I'm also a founder on a project called Left, which is a very entertainment, music, media-based project. And that's also with Left House, who is part of Metaforce. And so he was going to get a plot, and then we said, well, don't start building on your plot because it's going to get moved. So then we went to the new Genesis, and we got all 3 plots diagonally lined up. And now we've been working on these grand vision plans to get them all connected. But since they're diagonal and we have to cross rail lines and everything, we've been going out there and trying to swap lands with people and say, hey, can I put a tunnel through your land, and all of this stuff. So it's been a really fun way of trying to get it all connected. So it's cool. And we've got a lot of stuff that's been built out in several different iterations of where we were. Like, some of it was built. We have some stuff that was built in the original Genesis map, and then our lands got moved, and now they don't make any sense at all because they were connecting this way, and now we're diagonal. And so we've just been slowly going through and making adjustments, and then waiting for some of these community plots that surround it to get figured out with the building, so we can do integrations there. And so it's been a fun time of building what we can and waiting on the stuff that we need to wait on.
Yeah, that's super cool, because I can imagine just this is all going to become history, right? Like at some point, you're going to have like some kind of a bridge or a tunnel that leads nowhere, and you're going to have to explain to people like, this is just an ancient tunnel that used to connect these plots. But then you got to give people like history lessons of the Uplift, and how it got to be.
There's a couple really it's funny, really weird things, because we had gotten the land between the community plots so that we could make the full path. And when they picked them up and chopped them and moved them, they wouldn't work. And then one of them like wouldn't fit. So we had to rotate it 90 degrees because it was 2 plots wide. So it's like 90 degrees rotated next to CryptoMonkeys. And there's just tunnels that just you smack into a wall and there's nothing there. And everything used to be connected so beautifully, and you could make your way from here to there, and we'll get there again. Like eventually we're gonna find the path again. But
I have no doubt. I think it's gonna be really cool too to see how you do it, because you're gonna
oh no
you're gonna have to do something awesome, like
Yeah.
probably drop out of the nether into
Okay, so
What-
and he's back. He's back,
So-
ladies and gentlemen.
This
Sh-
keeps
sh-
happening to me for some reason.
It's
Yeah.
every time you try to order someone to do something, like the stream automatically boots you out because we're all about asking politely, not ordering around these
Oh
parts.
yeah,
That's what
it's
it is.
true. It's true. So I imagine that at some point you're gonna have to reach out to these nice community members around you so you can actually reach to their plot, right? And you're either gonna have to buy out their plots, or you're just gonna get permission from them to build the tunnel and do the things
Yeah.
you were planning, right?
So there's a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of land that I have already traded for. So in the initial sales, I just went out and bought as much land as I could, knowing I was going to have to figure this all out. And so I've done a lot of bartering and trading, and I've got some of the stuff figured out, but some isn't yet. But it's good. It's slowly coming together, and we've got some really big structures that we're building that are like just taking hours and hours and hours to work on, which I'll love to show you guys what's going on.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Do you have the game up? Can you show
Yeah,
us?
I do. If I just need to know how the screen share works with StreamYard.
You can just click on the share button at the bottom. You should have one.
Okay. Share screen. I'm going to pick this one. All right. So are you guys seeing that? Looks like it.
Yeah.
So it's nighttime here right now. I'm over Metaforce now, and
So
you know, maybe-
just a sec, Recourier. It's in the post below, but just so that everyone knows, you're in Genesis, right?
Yep.
Right now. And what are the coordinates?
so 3700 is the main Metaforce plot.
Got it. Sweet. And we can put the other ones up later.
So this is the first thing you'll see. That used to continue beautifully over to CryptoMonkeys. CryptoMonkeys, as you can see, is not there anymore. So
Now it's just a glorified road to the desert.
yeah. So I'll fly over to CryptoMonkeys. We'll take a look at what's going on there, and then we'll come back to Metaforce and Uplift Comics and some other things that are going on.
So yeah, you're in the Genesis server, which is creative, which means that you can fly, you can procure blocks, you can do all sorts of things. There's some pretty cool builds over there in the Genesis server. Bear in mind, however, the economy plugins for the Genesis server, they're not turned on, and they will never be turned on. They can't be turned on because we can't just have people procuring gold blocks and dumping them on the market. So there's going to be an interesting model with creativity that happens, transpires between the two servers, and I think it's going to be really fun to see.
So there is the other end of our path that used to connect, but that used to go off to the east. Since this was like double wide property here, this actually got rotated 90 degrees. So previously, it got closed off now, but previously you'd go in right here and there would be a tunnel under there and all of these cool things linked up. And this is a community plot just on the side of CryptoMonkeys that our main builder Cushbud built all this, and he built all of this in survival. We didn't have creative yet. Only like Corey and the main team had creative. So then we used to go down here, and there's this tunnel that now goes to nowhere, and we had our cart, and this used to take us over to CryptoMonkeys land, but that just slams into a wall now too. So we're going to build this all back together and make it all happen. We had built a whole bunch of stuff planning for things to, like we were basically building a community center so that when new players came in, we would have been able to mine some resources and do all the things. So our community players could come to our land and we'd say like, okay, here's some stuff to get you started, and then go out to your plots and do whatever you're going to do. And then you can contribute back to the community fund or what have you some point in the future. You can see things get a little funky around here, but we're getting into the CryptoMonkeys line. Oh, somebody's flying around with me. So you can see over here, we've got our banana to the moon thing
Does
going
it come
on.
does it come with a little blue pill?
A little what?
A little blue pill?
A little blue pill. No, it comes with a lot of potassium. Banana
Okay,
with
fair
potassium. Here's some garden areas that got built. This is a recreation of the Empire State Building. Now this is a really funny story. Cushbud has a resource pack called Epic Adventures. And he's like, dude, check it out. This is the best resource pack. So I put it on mine and I've been playing with that. And he built this entire thing. And you can see it's very strong and ominous and black on my screen. Well, in the standard resource pack, the building's pink.
Really?
It's just a big giant pink phallus. And so
and we're back to the blue pill.
Yes. And so that's what happened. And if you go down in here, you can actually go into the Empire State Building, and there's some boats there for some reason. But there is a lot of boats here. But there is water elevators. You can go up to the top inside. You can look at the observation deck. You can look at all the different floors and different stuff going on there. This is another structure that got built. Kind of not as much story with this. Just I think Chris Bud built this for fun. This is a giant tower. We have our CryptoMonkeys thing here, symbol, QR code, some other fun stuff, and here we had built here's one of those.
If I recall, I think you guys were one of the first plots to actually have a 2D image in the sky that could be seen from the 2D map. So yeah.
We built a nether portal, and then we built another rail line all the way to spawn, and then we built at spawn the other connection and everything, so people could get down, because it was like super far away. Right now the maps are like 5 kilometers by 5 kilometers, but it was like 50 or 100 or 150 kilometers. I don't even know. So again, this is kind of like it doesn't necessarily make sense now, but it harkens back to the origins of it.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
we had here a map of the entire space, so all of the CryptoMonkey stuff and all of the Metaforce stuff and everything around us was on here. Well, when it moved, now the map has to be redone. So eventually the map will be redone. And I had a map in Metaforce as well, and same thing. We took the map down, and that'll have to be redone. We put some gratitude walls up here. Now, here's the real history. When we had initially started, this was just like a little hole in the ground. Hey. This was the little hole in the ground that Greg had made for us. And this was like on the first or second public stream. And this was just like 1 block wide. And we went down there, and he's like, start digging here and start digging there and start digging whatever. So this room here, this is the first ever streamed build. Like we started building this room on stream just as hey, let's go build this thing,
And it's super cool that you actually have it on stream as well, right? So that's recorded history. Like it's not going to go anywhere. It's recorded
history, and that was also me trying to learn how to play the game. So I'm in here like I don't even know what buttons to push, what. So go back on the Uplifter. This has got to be on their YouTube channel. This has got to be months and months and months ago. It was hilarious. So, and we had planned on all these crates for the community and whatever. And we have this, we have an aquarium here. And then if you look down at the sky, this is a skull-shaped pond.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then these were separate structures initially. And then there was a build in between them to get an enchantment room. So this is the enchantment room. So all of these things that like when you're in a creative server, like you don't have to build an enchantment room. You don't have to build all of these crates and all of these other things, right? We had built all this when this was all going to be survival, and this was all going to be community, essentially community assets. And then we had all of this stuff here. Do all of your crafting, a big giant crafting room, right? And then we had up here, community bunks, all of this stuff ready for community members to come in.
Wow.
And they could set up shop.
You guys had it all, a lot of it figured out already in survival. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the whole idea was you could come in here and you could have a safe place while you start to build out your plot. You could get your basic tools and stuff going, and then you would be, you know, good to go as you build stuff out. So there you can see the skull pond.
Right.
That goes into the underground aquarium.
There's is it farms around it?
Yep, that's all farms. Like everything,
nice.
the whole plot was built to be in survival.
Yeah.
And so then that covers kind of a lot of what.
Yeah, there's an interesting aspect that you say there, right? Like we've been doing most of our interviews in the first few days have actually been probably focused on the gratitude sector, right, Cowie? And there's so many farms in the gratitude sector. There's almost like none in the Genesis. So
this is my little rail plot. UPCO stands for Upland Comics, and we have down in here an anti-reality booth. So in the Metaforce lore, the anti-reality booth is the altar for Left House, and that's how he becomes Magisto, and that allows him to turn his body into essence and travel through the metaverse, through like data lines and whatever, right? So he can just transfer himself through phone lines.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be like an old-timey red phone booth.
I was going to ask you if you were going to bring in the outros and the citizens into the Uplift as well.
Yes, they are. So what we did is to tie that lore in, you teleport down to our underground tunnel systems through anti-reality booths. So anywhere you see an anti-reality booth, you can get in or out of the Metaforce tunnel systems.
Oh, that's super cool. I really like that.
So this was getting through here. This is a collaboration. I had to work with a property owner that is not on the Metaforce team and said, hey, do you mind if I just do this through here and you'll get some traffic? And they were like, yeah, totally. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, they will benefit from it as well anyway, right? Because they'll get the traffic. Yeah.
Yeah. So these tunnel systems all connect up. This is a bit of a long walk. You can see we go underwater here. Anytime we go underwater, I build like a glass roof. And then at night, you can see all the underwater tunnels because it shines up through the water.
That's super nice too. It's a nice touch.
Got an underground stream. We're going to go up here. Eventually, I'm going to do some stuff here, but I haven't quite got there. We go across our stream. This is where I envision we're going to come across, and I want to go west from here. I've got to find some collaborators so I can connect this up and go west as another path to get over to CryptoMonkeys.
I still think that's hilarious that, like, you know, you're not annoyed by this. You're like, how do I make this work and make it even better than before?
Yeah, I mean, at first I was like, okay, this is a bummer, but whatever. This was like a little hidden thing to a mine. And again, I had come down here, I had built a whole mine and started laying out mining everything with the plan on it being survival. And so now, you know, we don't need this stuff. So there's a mine down here. Maybe I'll do something with it fun at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you might be, you know, because one of the only plots that actually has that kind of stuff in Genesis, because you were there so early, you know, Because most people never really think about any of that stuff in Genesis. They're all just going to go straight and just default to create whatever you want with any blocks you want, right?
No, this is all. Most of this was built in survival, or a lot of it was built in survival. And then when we got creative, we changed over. This is open. All of the floors in all of our altars and areas are open because as the comic book series goes on, we're going to take things from the issues and build them into the spaces.
That's pretty cool.
This is another underground little river that was here. This goes. This is from some water up there. I built a gratitude. So we've got a little underwater place here up to a gratitude that we're going to fill up.
Hey, do you want to do some gratitudes?
Yeah, we can for sure.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Who's first?
I'm gonna nominate Cowie to go first.
Okay. I can go first. I'm grateful for comic books coming to life in the Uplift world. For comics coming to life.
CAUE, right?
UE, yeah, that's right.
All right. All right, you're up.
Cowie kind of stole mine in a way. So I'm just gonna let it go.
You can make mine better than.
No, I think I said that before because I really like. So there's this thing that Metaforce Comics is planning on doing it and will intend to do, where each issue will kind of, in the spirit of the creators and how the main characters came about from real world instances, the comic book, if I'm understanding it correctly, will actually track real world instances of what's going on in the grander metaverse in a way.
Yep.
With different projects in different places and like maybe the Uplift, maybe some other things. And those characters are going to go and explore kind of in almost like an interview type of way, a similar way that we explore on this stream. So that's kind of like in a nutshell. That doesn't. It's a really big freaking nut. That's like a dinosaur nut, man. Like, but in a nutshell, that's kind of what I'm grateful for. And so I'm just trying to think about how I can word it. So I think I'm grateful for new media explorations of real world presences.
For the new media exploration. I don't know how I'm going to do this, man.
No, it'll fit. It'll fit if you move explorations to the next one. New
All right.
Media explorations of real world. No, I'm gonna forget it now. Grateful for new. Nice and. What was that? I love
That's
it.
my text message. I got a text.
That's awesome. Now I'm out. Now I can't remember this because I'm thinking about anyway. New world explorations, new media explorations. Right.
Oh my god.
It's all right. We have all night.
Of
night here
of real world connections. And cool. I guess I'm just gonna be Jim D today. Okay, that works too. JD is okay.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm totally down with the way that you guys walk, and I think that everyone should walk that way. No one. Like, come on,
that's awesome. Sorry, I was writing mine out.
No, that was the total reference of the music that just played that threw me off. Walk this way. Come on.
That's good.
Recourier,
it was really good because my mind wasn't there. So.
Morton MD got it. Good job, Morton.
Survival.
Crypto man. I have a DM.
I think being in Genesis Survival allowed there to be a bunch of stuff built that definitely wouldn't have been built, and it's kind of cool to go back and look at that. So
Yeah,
here
I
I'm
agree.
just in this massive underwater chasm. Here you can see I haven't widened it yet. I'm eventually going to go in here and fix that all up.
Yeah, I think it's super cool to see like the dynamic way that you can bring to life the stuff from comics, you know, because with the Uplift, that's a use case of the Uplift that I really appreciate, because usually when you have like, you know, comics and characters from a fictional world, and you're really willing to go and explore that space in 3D that you only imagined, you know, in your head and just saw a couple of pictures of. It would take a whole team to develop a whole game, and it will take a long time for you to get there. But in there, you can literally just maybe dedicate a team for a few weeks, maybe a few months, and people can go in and they can actually see all the stuff that they read in the comics. They can experience this the places that, you know, the stories talk about and all that. That's really, really cool.
And I keep trying to pester Recourier because I know that he's super busy. But my vision for this is at some point, I want there to be an episode. I'm just gonna spill it all. I want there to be a comic book episode that takes place in the Uplift World metaverse, and there actually is
that's 100% gonna happen.
There actually is a shader or a resource pack that simulates comic book images, and I think it would be really cool if you guys use that resource pack for like some of the images in your comic, and
that's awesome.
Like and just imploded the universe.
So here's another collaboration that worked together. I have good chunk of land here, and this is Upland Comics Stadium. And so you could see we came up from the below, and then there's 2 sub levels that you can use the anti-reality booths, or we have real stairs. I preserved all the streams that went through the plots by putting them in glass. So these streams still all connect, and we can go underneath them and pop up, and these are going to be, I don't know what these are going to be exactly.
Hey, wait.
Locker rooms.
Wait. That was a pretty big statement, and I didn't wrap my mind around it. One more time. What did you preserve and why? Because I'm all about preservation.
So all of the streams, I'll go fly up in the air a little bit to show you. So there were all these streams that went through the plot, right? I wanted all of these streams to exist. The entirety of underneath the stadium is going to be excavated for 2 levels down, and then we're going to build all the things that would actually exist in a stadium. So there's going to be locker rooms, there's going to be offices, there's going to be weight rooms, there's going to be all kinds of stuff. And so those streams.
So you glass bottom the streams.
I did the sides of the streams all in glass, and then they are going to actually flow underneath the stadium and come back out here. And I actually have a lava flow in the stadium as well.
That's cool.
So
I like it.
So that's going to be preserved as well. Hey. So I'm working on preserving the lava flow now too, and then this will all tie in, and it'll all be part of the stadium.
The stadium is looking pretty neat too.
Yeah,
right. I like it a lot. It's great.
To specifically as a tribute to Corey, the entire stadium is going to be built on a 100 by 150 level of sea lanterns. The side effect to that is the pitch actually glows at night, which is really kind of super cool. So this is just like, I expect to be working on this stadium for months, years, who knows.
Wow.
So a lot of this
is a big project.
Yeah. So this all ties right into Metaforce, and you can see I came up in an anti-reality booth that comes up over there. And if you see any of these red booths anywhere, we put them by all of these different buildings. Those all tie into the tunnel system. So you can see here, there's an underwater enchantment room, because again, we thought we were going to be in survival. So there's an underwater enchantment room that is connected by all of the underwater tunnels. This originally started getting built again, the backstory on this is when I came over here and started building on the Metaforce land, there were mobs that came out at night, and I kept getting killed by the water mobs. So I was like, screw this. I'm building a castle so I can stand up there and shoot them and kill them and be protected. So that's the reason there's a castle here.
That's
the
awesome.
only reason is because, you know,
There was actual utility to have it there.
yeah, there were mobs, and I had to figure out how. I was like, okay, I've got to build a place for the community to come where they're not constantly getting killed. So this world used to all have a map on it.
Can I ask one more request? Like, used to have a map on it. I think maybe you should put a gratitude wall there too, but wherever. But my request would be, there's actually a few people that we see flying around in worlds that are maybe watching the stream. And, I think it'd be really cool if we put if they came and found you somewhere, and we put their gratitudes up on the stream. So
Yeah,
if you're flying around in the Metaforce plot, tell us what you're grateful for. And if it's like one of Recourier's stories or something that Recourier has built in the Metaforce land, all the better. But anything's open. Who's that? Who you got there? Kronz. Nice.
So this went down to the mine, and the plan was we were going to mine everything and bring it up here and have it for community members to be able to take whatever they need. And you can see we started labeling all the different things so everybody could find it. Again, not necessary.
Wow, man. Yeah, that you guys put a lot of work into the survival side of this.
Yeah. Well, you think that's good. Cushbud. So a lot of this was Cushbud, and we gotta call out Cushbud for sure. And then we'll if Kronz follows me, we'll head back down to gratitude, and we'll put a gratitude up for him.
All
so
right.
If he can just chill with me for a minute. This is all farming, right? This is all planned. And he built me what we called a steak vending machine. So you put cows in here, right? And there would be cows, and then there were instructions. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, pull these levers, do this. And then it would drop lava on the cows, and then steaks would shoot out.
Nice.
And again, it was so that people could have food. We had pumpkins. This is a cobblestone generator. So people could just go and take cobblestone. Oops, didn't mean to put a sign on the cobblestone. All of this whole plan was like, how do we build a community center for everyone? And then it was like, hey, so we're going to creative. So we're like, all right, well, that's cool. This is Umberto's from the Metaforce lore. So that is Umberto's. We built a marina because we thought people might want a boat in. That's a lighthouse just because it was cool.
It does look cool there.
And again, the bottom of that lighthouse, you can go down, you can get into all the tunnels. This was a temple that was already there, but Cushbud modified the heck out of it. And then this went to the Ender's World. And then you could go to the Ender's World and do all of this stuff that I don't really understand because I never played it.
So you just had that in your plot?
No, we built it.
Right.
We built it. We had the temple in the plot, but the temple didn't go to the Ender's World. And then this came down, and we have our lava tunnel here. We built a lava tunnel.
Oh, that looks pretty sweet in that resource pack.
Yeah.
I really like it as well.
And again, you can pop up to all, anywhere you see a ladder straight up, you're going to go up to an anti-reality booth, and that'll get you back up to the surface.
Sweet. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's really interesting. I need to automate my stuff a little bit more, to be honest. But
there's
all
a Pantheon.
Let's get Kronz's gratitude up, because Kronz is actually in game. In the comments, he's Rob Flasca, and he's got a good gratitude. So I like it. He put up a gratitude earlier. It was kind of said he was grateful for the 2D maps and
this big plan for an ant farm and stuff. He's been explaining that to me. It's pretty cool.
I also built ways you can get into the tunnels through water. So these various ponds and stuff you can swim down in.
I did
that's
that
nice.
on the
And this-
Gener EOS plot, and I really appreciate that. I like the fact that you can actually like swim through waterfalls into the ocean and then up to the surface. It's cool,
Yeah.
right?
So when I built this, we were still in survival, so I had to make like one of those underwater masks, and then I had to swim down and build some stuff and pop back up to the surface and swim down and build some stuff. So it was really it was really interesting.
I was working on an underwater project, like actually drying up a huge chunk of water. I mean, to me, it was pretty huge. In gratitude for a plot that I was working on, and it was a lot of work. Like all that swimming down, and you catch your breath, and then you go back. And
All right, let's put some. So read it off to Jimmy.
All right. So grateful to live out childhood passions. Wait, actually, go back. Sorry, it's going to be too long. Grateful living out childhood passions. Through Uplift.
he's also grateful for the word Thune.
So Crons, Kronz.
I think it's Scrons, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry, it is
S.
Scrons. Sorry,
Scrons.
S. Go back one. Sorry.
KR
SCRAWNZ.
CRAWNZ.
Yeah.
And one more as well.
Yeah.
Grateful for the word Thune. Because that's good. I like it. Well, actually, let's change it. Grateful for the word Thune and 2D maps. And 2D. Grateful for the word Thune and 2D tracker maps. Let's do it that way.
Actually, that's it's word, not world.
Oh my goodness.
But you
Hold
can
on.
just type up like the arrow
Yeah.
up on your. You don't have to destroy the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. I like when other people.
Whose is this? Is this
This
Scrons
is
also?
Scrons. Yeah, this is Scrons also.
Yeah.
You're being bombarded by the Scrons.
Nice. I love it.
Not really sure what that means, but it kind of scares me. Thanks for playing the game, Rob. We love it. That's awesome.
Wow. Like, have you guys thought about what kinds of mechanics you would like at least to implement? You know, between the collections and the Uplift World, like what kind of interactions did you plan for the users when they come there?
So we're doing a bunch of different collaborations with all the different worlds that our comic books will take place in.
Okay.
And so we have like the general story arc figured out, and like we know where the storyline is going to take us. But as far as like, you know, there will be opportunities in the artwork on the pages to say like, hey, what is something, you know, I would talk to Corey or whomever ran any given project and say like, well, is there anything you want to see? Is there something about your world you want reflected in the comic book, et cetera, et cetera? And then we would work with that. And then on the flip side, we're trying to find a place for us to exist in that world. So in the Uplift, it's great. We can build whatever we want. So this gets to have a really in-depth kind of collaboration here, which has been great. In Upland right now, we have some properties that are in the Upland world. Like we have Umberto's because New York City is open in Upland. So that is part of the lore that ties in there. And we have some spots that are going to tie in. And as building construction gets implemented, we're going to build some stuff in Upland. And right now we have, so Metaforce community members can go to the Upland game and visit certain locations in Upland. And then they get Metaforce NFTs. So, you know, however many visits you do, you get put in the random selector, and then we give out a certain amount for those people that go and do lots of visits. And we're trying to figure out in all of these different metaverses that we're going to be building a place in, there will be a mechanic in there too. So all of different metaverses have totally different gameplay mechanics. So we have to create something different for each one. But I mean, luckily, you know, I've been able to talk with Corey a lot, and we came up with this. And I know the people from Upland, and we came up with the whole Upland mining project for that. I have some ideas for our planet. That's going to require us to actually work with NFT Hive to figure a couple things out. But we've got some ideas there. I've got some ideas for some other places that we believe we're going to be collaborating with. There's a new project that I happen to be working on, but is going to be a Metaverse world itself called Green Rabbit. And we have some ideas on how that's going to work out. And so that's part of the fun of it, in that, you know, people ask, like, is Metaforce a game? And it's like, no, it's all the games. Like, to be part of the Metaforce thing, like, there's going to be opportunities for you to get involved in Uplift and Upland and our planet and all of these things as part of your interacting. So that's really kind of our idea, and it's going to be heavy on wax properties, but it's not necessarily going to be I like how he's spinning. It's not necessarily going to be explicitly limited to wax. If we have an opportunity to do something cross-platform, we will. And we'll see how those opportunities present themselves. So that's really, that's been exciting to talk to other people. We definitely are going to do something with CryptoMonkeys and Metaforce together. We already collaborate on a bunch of stuff. We hope to build tunnels in together. And so there's going to be ample opportunity there to collaborate. There's going to be, you know, we're hopeful for a NFT collaboration, and then we'll see, since they don't. CryptoMonkeys kind of has a metaverse in that it's created. It's not a place you can go, but it creates this whole world with how the community exists and how the cards exist. So we're talking about creative ways to make that connect.
I think he's giving you a fashion show now on the screen.
Yeah, he's
seems like
he
it.
did spin. He's walking the runway.
I love it. It's great. This is awesome. We totally, Scrons, you rock. That's
Here, let's go. We can go give him a runway. He can follow me. He can do a runway on the bridge because it's well lit. Or no, here we go.
Yeah, it's really super fun that you guys are seeing this from a positive point of view as well. And I think that's how it works for creative people, right?
Do your thing, buddy. Oh, look at that move. Oh, beautiful.
Wow. Blows my mind.
Some random detail this is great.
I like this guy.
This is the best.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I think just wait. I think he might be changing his clothing. I think he might he's totally changing.
Oh, costume change. That's awesome.
That's great. And he went behind the post because he knew you couldn't see him.
Man, that's funny. Oh, look at now he's doing
this is great.
That is really super cool. Yeah.
I'm here for this all day. Like I totally want to adopt the fashion show idea. Something some people might not know about me is actually I had a small fashion company for a while. We used to repurpose old Japanese kimonos into mostly women's clothing because they don't have legs. But yeah, like hit me up, Rob, at some point. Like, let's do a freaking fashion show. You can head it. Like, you can even have. I'll even send people to fashion school for your moves because that was perfect on every level.
Yeah. I think it ties up with what I was saying, because I was basically saying that creative people usually kind of appreciate constraints on games and things like that, because then it gives you, okay, I have to work with whatever this game is providing me. And this is what Scron's doing there, right? He's just basically grabbing something that's available. Like, okay, I'm in a stream, I'll just do this. And that's what I can do right now.
Yeah.
And it's what you guys are doing with all the different metaverses, right?
I'm not great. Like, I'm not great at this, but like, tag me if it's not done in like 2 or 3 days, because I'm totally gonna pull this clip, and this needs to be like a meme or an NFT.
Here's
like that. Totally needs to.
We all had like, this was going to be our headquarters. So we each had bunk rooms, right?
So
that was Mars. He was like, I want it really red and kind of like that. This was mine. We were going to have armor stands and places to keep all of your stuff and chests for everything, because it was going to be
because you can
survival. This was the left house room. He wanted green, so we set this up for him.
Is that the same colors? I feel like it's the same colors you guys used in the cards for your characters.
Yeah. This was the T. Davis room, so this had the Italian flag.
Nice.
Yeah, we had ADK's room, like very dungeony, dark.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then we used to have like a market downstairs.
I guess my major question is,
with
like,
all the villagers.
How do you feel about just random people wandering into your room and taking a nap in your bed? I mean, in the real world, that would be pretty creepy.
That would be, yeah. So we had a full market with all the different people, so you could come in here and do the things you needed to do. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, this is all meant to, like, all of this open floor. Like, over time, this is going to be filled up with stuff, and maybe. I really like having that gratitude kind of someplace where you got to go look for it. Like, you gotta be part of what's going on here and look through it and find the tunnels. And I'll tell people exactly where it is, but they've got to commit to it a little bit, right? And tour around, because as much as I showed you, there's way more here that isn't done yet. And every time you come back, there's going to be different stuff. There's going to be more of the stadium built. There's going to be more stuff going on in Metaforce. Really soon, Callie was telling me that the community properties and all of that stuff's going to be figured out, which means we're going to be able to whitelist builders on stuff and get things moving some more. So yeah, I've talked to a lot of people about different things that we could do and make happen. And it's, I think it's just going to be, I don't foresee the way we laid it out. I don't foresee it like, I know some people kind of came in and then they went nuts, and they went from bedrock to the top of the sky, and they're like, cool, here's what we built. That's never going to be here. Like, this is going to be a constantly evolving site, and all of the connections, like connecting to CryptoMonkeys, to Metaforce, to Left, working with the people around us. I think it's going to be very dynamic. So there's always going to be something. Every time you go back there, there's going to be something different to check out. And especially after we get issues out, then we're going to invite people in to build stuff from those issues. So
yeah, man, I just want to say that I really appreciate all the effort that you guys are putting in, all the time and all the thought, into making something really cool that really fits the bill there in the Uplift, and that, that you can implement in this metaverse. It's gonna look really awesome once it's all going, once you have all the connections to the different projects, and you have the NFTs coming out, and everything gets a place, in this story.
Yeah, for sure. It's been really interesting and really fun. And I know that we're going to have a spot. There's going to be a combination CryptoMonkeys and Metaforce spot in I think Gratitude.
Oh. Sorry, I've got a loss in my own little world, but can we just give Scrons a bunch of free CryptoMonkeys and Metaphors NFTs to do a recreation of the comic book on your land and have people in here with video cameras and actually film it all?
Oh yeah, just get a couple people together and dress them up like the characters. And
just be a director. That would be hilarious.
Maybe we got to build a theater somewhere on here.
That would be so awesome.
We can do reenactments.
Yeah,
and we can call it Metaforce Theater.
It would be so good, to be honest.
That is a good idea.
All right, now I got to figure out where we're going to build Metaforce Theater.
That's so good.
Oh, maybe up here next to the gardens.
Right, yeah, it's funny because one of the most interesting.
Oh, we could do it in the stadium. We've got a freaking stadium.
Yeah, but the other thing is that little ground area that you saw, you could build a Greek style stadium, right? Like a Greek.
Oh yeah, well, we've got stadium seating. We could have everybody come up.
That would be awesome. Yeah, let's do a show in the
line up.
Stadium.
We could do. I mean, totally. Because cool. that's what happens in real life, right? They turn over stadiums for big.
I really appreciate that. Just looking at this view, at scale, it actually feels like you're at a stadium, just sitting down and just waiting for something to happen.
Hey, Scrons, give us a lowdown. What would it look like? You're the one man show. You're the let us know. Do you have a lightsaber there? Are you enacting Star Wars?
I think he's got a potion.
He's just mad disappear.
Oh, way up on the upper deck.
No.
Yeah. No, I went. We had me and the guy I'm working with. We had planned on doing the stadium a little bit smaller, and to get things that made sense, we were like, we need more land. Otherwise, it just looks kind of dinky, and we can't get the measurements of actual, football field, stadium, soccer, depending what part of the world you're from, to look right. And we kind of figured out, all right, well, we need 100 by 150. And so, I went out, I was able to find somebody that had this 100, that it's 100 by 100. And I traded them a bunch of my lands for that. And then we're going to overlap onto the Metaforce community plot a little bit. And then he had the rail plot that connected to it. So that'll be the main entrance to the stadium through the rail plot. And, we're going to build all the things. I'm hoping to eventually build concession stands in there and different stuff like that. Just, I don't know. It's I don't see us being done with this anytime soon. It's just going to be something, we'll be done with the main field and the seating and all of that stuff. And then once you get inside, everything underneath still needs to be completely excavated, right? Because it's mostly all still there.
I can feel that. I can feel that you have such big plans that it's going to take a long time until you're actually happy with something. And even so, even after that's ready, you're probably going to still be having ideas how to modify it and improve on it. And one thing that I thought now as well that could be happening is in the future, you could, like you said, people use real stadiums to do bigger events. You could even do things that are temporary in there. You could build a theater or something in the middle of the field and then just put it down whenever you don't need it anymore, and that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah. And the other thing is, with the whitelisting, if somebody else wants to have an event in there, I'll just say hey, do whatever you want. I'll whitelist you, do what you want and have your event, and we'll figure out how to make it all work for whatever model they have in mind. And then, I mean, I hadn't really planned that until you guys just brought it up. And that's really a cool idea. I just thought, me and him thought hey, let's build a stadium. And that's about where our planning started. And it's all just been as we're going, it's hey, you want to do this? And I thought it would be fun to to try and preserve this.
Hey, just a minute. Turn around. How many outfits does this guy have?
Well, he's in.
He's
Can
in
you just
creative, so he's
pick
got all
anything?
of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
Now Jimmy's like, I'm a bit underwhelmed now. He's just
No,
a cheater.
Hey, he's
no.
still got some moves.
Yeah, he's got moves, and I
No,
want to
I'm
ask
kidding.
the question: does the stadium have a dressing room? Because he put it up here on the screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we'll eventually have locker rooms and all of that, and whatever we need, maybe showers. This was a crazy wall I built. I was like, I just need some craziness here, so I built that.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like Metaforce's colors, you know.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
there was a little bit of that thinking in there. I wanted it to feel a little bit like that. I like that I can walk under the stream, like you can go all the way around.
Yeah, I like that too.
I like that a lot as well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been paying attention to what I've been saying about my plot, but I'm trying to like knock the rails back to their original kind of ecosystem, just because I thought it would be cool, and try to get like various things to spawn and see what I end up with on one of my rail plots. So I put up a big glass wall to hold the ocean out, and there's coral just outside of it, so it's really nice.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I did here.
Like, I'm super impressed with the glass bottomed river. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's definitely some stuff that's a lot easier to do once you have creative.
Yeah.
Because some of this stuff I just don't think, even if I had all the resources I needed, I don't think I'd be able to do it in survival. But
yeah, well, it takes a long time to procure those things, right? I mean, I just like, I don't know what you call it, like baking the glass, I guess, or putting the glass in the furnace and getting it. Like, you can do multiple furnaces at a time, but it takes a long time just to go back and get it. So
yeah, it's true. No, it's like survival for me and it's just time. That's it. It's not just the difficulty of getting it done. It's just you need lots and lots of time, right?
Yeah.
Which a lot of us just don't have.
Right. Scrons, come to the Uplift World Telegram, tag me. Let's get you a fashion show runway of your own. Recourier, this looks awesome. And I really like the detail and the excitement and the passion too, but like mostly the detail. I really like the detail of like what you showed us and the kind of dynamic of having thought that you were going to be in survival, but then moving into creative was really cool for me. And like the fact that you even like just put Metaforce into the bedrooms and all of these other places, that's really impressive for me. This reminds me of like a Dungeon of Doom, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, this is
like a sewage system.
This is so all of the these are all different spots where I punched through to the water and just there's secret passages. I wanted to make like secret ways to get in and out. So if you go in this pond, this little pond here, it actually has like 2 or 3 different entrances. This is an entrance to the tunnels right through there.
And that's actually kind of the beauty of creative, right? Because you wouldn't really, well, I mean, you could, but it'd be really difficult to do this type of thing in a in a survival server. And so like going underwater, like I think the underwater is going to be a huge area or a huge zone in these creative gameplay community plots.
So this
very similar thing to me, like putting those hallways in under. I didn't light mine up quite as well as you, but like putting these hallways in under the ocean, and it's so fun because you can just fly so fast in the ocean water blocks, and like there's that sound, choo, 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 like just throwing those glass blocks up. It's super fun. I recommend anyone who has a creative plot in the Uplift, you definitely put in at least one underwater walkway. We'll never see the Uplift world the same again.
Oh yeah, they're not. I like it. It's and all the different resources packs make it all look very, very different as well. So
Yeah, well, just the sheer amount of sea lanterns you have there, like in survival, it'd be just impossible.
Well, and that's 100% like a Corey thing, because I didn't know sea lanterns from everything. And then Greg was all like, do you know how hard it is to make sea lanterns? Why are you using so many sea lanterns? So Corey's like, sea lanterns for everybody. I'm just going to put sea lanterns everywhere. So I'm like, I'm down with this. I'll go nuts with sea lanterns. There's no reason for me to use sea. Sometimes I build with sea lanterns just because, like, I can put any block there. And I'm going to fill it up with sea lanterns.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, just the fact that it has, illumination of its own is just makes it a cool block, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to address something. I'm not sure. Maybe you already get it, but I just want to point this out. Remember, this plot was started in survival and they went to creative. So it was the other way around, right? Like if you're going from creative into survival, then that's not good because you can pull whatever you want, right? But if you're going from survival into creative, it actually means that like there's no disadvantage to that for anyone, right? Like if you're going from survival to creative, it means that you actually worked for those first few blocks and you don't have to later. So I'm not sure what you mean there, Morton, but I just want to clarify that in case you had the wrong idea. Everything that was begun on this plot was what was originally in survival, and then they went into creative. Well, it would be bad the other way. Actually,
there's definitely some stuff that we did after we got turned into creative. Like everything I've done in the last couple of months, I've done in creative mode. But a lot of this stuff had been done in survival, or like there was a period of time that Cushbud had creative mode, but I didn't. And so he would like spawn stuff for me. He'd just leave chests full of like materials, but then I'd have to go build it. So I'd be building basically I was building in survival mode, but with
materials provided by
like the resources were easy enough to get. So,
but like, just to clarify that, like if you're to knock these sea lanterns or these lights or any of these bricks or any of the gold in this zone that you see out, you can't do anything with it. There's no market for any of the resources that are in this plot because it's in Genesis, which means that it's in a creative map, and there's no economy plugin for the creative map. So just for anyone watching this or concerned about how that transpired, it's a issue of non-relevance in this case.
Yeah, so I do have to give one warning to anybody that goes here. So Cushbud made a maze, and there's one way in and one way out. And so here we're in the mint. Again, this is eventually going to get all filled up with stuff that's relevant to lore. But if you go over here to the maze, okay, you have to make sure that you like mazes and stuff, because and he puts a warning.
It's going to take you a while until you get out.
Warning: once you enter, you only the exit lets you leave. Enter at your own risk. So like, don't just go in there to putz around. Like, make yourself time. That's like, hey, I'm going in the escape room today or whatever.
Nice. Those are really cool places. I like those. They pose like a challenge, and whoever is up for it, it's there. It's available. Yeah, that's super nice, man. I mean, I really like seeing all that. Yeah, especially all the history that's behind it, and I can see that you show appreciation for the virtual places we're looking at because of all the work you put into it, at the time that it was survival and all that, but even afterwards, right? Like, just because it comes out of all your imaginations and stuff.
And there's so much history on CryptoMonkeys land too. I would say,
I bet, yeah.
I would definitely say also Anders Land, which he was building in there originally, that has some of the best history as well, but he ended up getting moved to Gratitude so that he could stay, because he was such a
we literally just had the same vibe of Vito, the same conversation with him just like 3 hours ago or something.
Yeah, he was
showing us the plot.
Like, he wouldn't use any shortcut. He wouldn't let people give him stuff. He wouldn't anything. So then he would really get like Corey would go in there and put sea lanterns in places like he couldn't really reach, and he'd have to like build scaffolding up to take out Corey's ski lantern or whatever. But he was like
I remember that.
super purist. And I remember when this was still coming together, we had the original group, and I still have our little Telegram group where we were just talking about like, what's it going to be? Are we going to be survival? Are we going to be this? Are we going to be that? You know, this is before we were figuring out, okay, we're going to have to do different worlds, and each different world's going to have its own settings. And we were talking about the initial ideas of DAOs and everything. And he was like, it's gotta be survival. It's gotta be like, he was a purist. He's like, yeah, your guys' stuff is nice and all, but you built it with creative. I built mine with survival. So, you know, it's
we were just talking about like how he's just really a true gamer, right? Like he really wants the challenge and not just a place to hang out. He's just like, there needs to be a challenge here.
Anders, I don't know how long it took him to construct that. He was one of the first people that was actually invited as community. Recourier was here quite early as well. Recourier, how long has this taken you? I'm guessing it's taken you however long the day you started is until now.
Yeah, I mean, I was working on stuff, I think yesterday or the day before. So whenever I have some free time, or if I'm waiting for something else, or, you know, I'll jump in and I'll do some work. That's why there's so much stuff that's just like partially done, because it's always like I'll get as far as I can, and then I've got to go on to something else or get some sleep or whatever. So it's just a constant work in progress. Kushba did a lot early on. I cannot give him enough credit. I'll actually go right here. He left some little signs. So Kushba did this, the Bender art, and he did a lot of building a lot of this out. You know, a lot of the creativity for this came out of his head. He did some initial designs for some of our tunnels. So he was hugely influential in getting this all started. So it's awesome. Somebody's snowballing me. So it's been Morton Matt. Hey, Morton Matt.
Morton Matt is in the comments like always, and he's one of our favorite people.
Yeah. So Kushbud's a man.
Yeah, that's super cool. He's still building stuff.
He is. He's been. He's excited for when we get the gratitude stuff going, and he's gonna. So basically, the idea we had is we're gonna do a joint, because he builds for CryptoMonkeys too. We're gonna do a joint CryptoMonkeys Metaforce venture there, to take this whole idea we had originally of building a community center that people could get started at and get resources and be a resource exchange and just be a place for community. And so we were gonna basically rebuild our initial idea in gratitude. But I know that's been, there's all these moving parts with the uplift, and certain things are going at certain times. So we've just been.
What? The uplift has moving parts? What are you talking about? There's no moving parts. It's the static resonance of nothingness.
Yeah. So whenever that's ready, we'll probably jump into that too. And I have another big plot between here and left that I want to develop and connect up. So I've got my whole idea is to just this whole area, CryptoMonkeys, Metaforce, and left, just really make a huge everything that we want there. So I've been slowly consolidating my lands in there so that we can make it one big destination. And the idea is you kind of check it all out.
Yeah, man, it already looks amazing. I'm pretty sure like you have way bigger plans in mind, but just seeing that right now, it's already pretty nice to explore.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. And honestly, you guys have such a good idea with the like theater type setup with that stadium. I'm really blown away. I didn't even think of that. So
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
a cool
it's
idea.
stuff that comes up.
Yeah. So
Like we've had some pretty cool streams, but and this isn't the first stream that I personally shared with you, or Recourier. I always enjoy these, but I know like you know, you do your own show with Corey, and I think it's a really well placed show because you guys tour around and you see types of things. And I'm not necessarily a designer in that sense. What was that? Did you just
my camera sometimes
did you
Is it
just
the
change your
autofocus?
did you just change your clothing? Are you giving us a fashion? You're going behind the
I do
curtain.
that
Here?
like this, like
Come on.
hold
That
on.
would be super cool. Just come back with a different set of clothing. Like, yeah, there you go. This is how it's done.
But I really enjoy these, right? And I'm gonna say this. I enjoy these for 2 or 3 different reasons. This is quite good. I mean, I'm impressed that you were that well prepared, to be honest.
I got right here because I've always got hats going, right? I've got my giant hat stack that I always use for different things. Oh, and I've got my. Do you guys know Uplando? This is my. This is my Uplando hat. He always wears a hat like this. So when I'm on with him, sometimes I'll throw my Uplando hat on. And this one was for Chicago just opened in Upland. So I've got my old school Bulls hat. I was like a big Bulls fan back in the Jordan day. So
not that I want to detract from your hat collection, but I'm totally going to detract from your hat collection because I've been quite quiet this stream, but sometimes I like to make things all about me, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I just read in the comment that like you're a fan and friend of the Nasty Hooks.
Yeah. So I helped. So their guy that does all the wax stuff is a guy called Stirs Merlin that I know through Upland. And he I worked with Stirs and did a in January we did a fundraiser for St. Jude, and he worked on a bunch of the Upland side of stuff. I handled all the wax side of stuff, and in the process of us doing that, he was like, hey, I want to learn this wax stuff. So we sat down on a number of occasions and went through everything. And I said, this is how you do this. This is how you do that, blah, 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 blah. And then he's moved on, and we're still planning for next year to do another fundraiser for St. Jude, but he's moved on, and now he helps support Nasty Hooks. He's part of the Nasty Hooks team. So I kind of, I guess through that interaction, the original one for St. Jude, that's how I got my connection to the Nasty Hooks through Stirs. So.
Very cool. We had them on last night.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
And I did a 2-hour, wasn't supposed to be 2 hours, but I did a 2-hour live stream on their plot today where we built the Uploft. And we've decided that we're gonna like do almost a weekly show. We're gonna stream it to their channels and our channels, I think. But it's funny, like I spent probably like 20-30 minutes today just brainstorming with them at names, and like it was super fun. I think it's gonna go in weird places. Like those of you that tune in the channel, you know I do a show with Sean called like To the Edge of Obscurity and Beyond, 45 minutes or less, that just keeps getting longer. I mean, it might be like a marathon at some point. But yeah, this one's pretty fun. We're gonna call it the Maple Glazed.
Started pretty good already.
Yeah, right off the rip.
The Maple Glazed Jerky Chronicles. That's what we're gonna call it. And we're just gonna basically go in and we're gonna hang out and we're like gonna build some cool shit. And they got a jungle swamp plot, and they're kind of covered a lot of it over. But we went in there today and we planted a bunch of jungle trees. We like harvested them down, got a bunch of wood. I learned a new technique today. Did you know, Cowie, that you can actually, if you can get on the top of a tree and then like place a wood block and then place another tree with bone meal, that you can just keep going up and up and up. So like we're gonna build the Uploft, and we've already got like 3 massive like jungle trees there as like foundational pillars with like these little like things that are coming off it. I'm gonna Ewokify the shit out of that place. But Recourier, sometime, like, yeah, maybe we can even whitelist you for an episode or a day. You come and you can like build some cool shit with us. I mean, it's gonna be totally randomized, like compared to like what you love, but it'll be fun just to get you to come in and put your.
I'm down with it. I got to figure out how to get, because I've got a bunch of London stuff and other survival map stuff. I just haven't been in there. I've been trying to get all the stuff in Genesis working good. So I have all this London stuff that I haven't even gotten in there. So I'll go in and I'll just be empty cache of goods and naked, I guess. I don't know if that works.
People can hook you up with stuff. I'm the same. I have just too many plots now, and I don't have time to work on all of them. But
yeah,
it's tough.
I'm kind of grateful for the early days when I was in Gratitude and I had like just chest full of, because I had a pretty good plot, so I had just chest full of wood that I could use, right? Because and then like I built this massive acacia farm, but we were doing this with jungle trees, and jungle trees go straight up, and I'm totally gonna test this theory out with acacia trees, because acacia trees are fucking awesome. And yeah, I want to do like I'm getting really excited about this because like I see these awesome builds like what you were showing us on your screen. Don't worry, it all comes back full circle to you, even though I'm making it about me right now. I see this awesome build, so like what you're doing, and also Cowie, who we had the Grim Folks people on last night. Like, and this doesn't detract from any of the other builds because there's some cool shit going on. You know, like one of our first ones was Hodelios, and he's basically, trying to get to like an underground ruin site, right? And but I really appreciate the thought that goes into all of these builds. Like your stadium is amazing. And it's interesting when I look at it because you have these creative and these survival modes. And I think when people look back on this, they're going to see some really interesting things. Like you go on YouTube and you find, videos of how to build certain things, right? Like that's how I figured out how to build my first, Japanese temple. And I cut it short because it was survival and I didn't have time to cut down all that wood. But like, I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool. Right. And, I want to see more people on this channel, in particular, teaching other people like really cool freaking skills, right? Like I went with Greg the other day to the southern part of Chicken Call, and there's all these people building machines and stuff like that, right? So I think, Cowie, this is what we need to do, because this is round one of the Journeys series, right? I'm sure Recourier has a Journeys ringtone somewhere. For someone who calls. But this is round one for the Journey series. I think for round two, what I want to do after seeing this build is do like almost a how-to, like put it into the mix, like show us how you did something really cool. Because I think like Recourier's idea of like encasing the river, like putting a base glass wall on the river and then going up the sides of it. I'm looking at that and I'm like, I could probably figure it out, but that was probably a really interesting story and a really crazy technical process. So I'm kind of excited to hear you come back. And when you do, I'd like you to like tell us that story, like the particulars, the in-depth details of how you did it. And I think maybe this is where we should go with it. Of course, Cowie is the architect of this whole series. But yeah, what do you think about that,
Cowie? My architecture style is just very organic. So whatever cool ideas come through my way, I'm like, yeah, that's it. We should do that. So I like that for sure.
Yeah. So I did one last question before we go, Recourier, because I think this is important. So they made the Bender with blocks and not using JENS Magic Picture Machine.
Yeah, everything was placed. Nothing was imported. So I think it's
Jen's Magic Picture Machine. The two capitalized letters threw me off there. Yes, not JENS, Jen's. Sorry, one more time. So everything was placed
placed by hand. There was no, like, I know there's some ways that you can like import stuff. We didn't do that. Would love to find a community to build out the runway building competition. Hey, listen, once we get the seating done in the stadium, we can definitely have a fashion show set up and just build a runway on top of the thing and just have a whole, it'll be like Paris Fashion Week, but not Paris and Minecraft.
I mean, that Paris is into
Genesis.
NFTs. Let's fucking get Paris. Like, seriously. Like, I used to.
Well, I was meaning like
that's
the
a
city.
different Paris, but that's
Yeah.
also doable.
Yeah. I mean, the entire city of Paris may also be into NFTs. I can't say with certainty they're not, but maybe Paris Hilton has her own fashion week that I didn't know about.
Rob Flaska, go to the Uplifters Telegram channel and figure out how to connect with me. And if I don't answer, I'm gonna go to sleep because I do live in Asia. But then mail me again tomorrow and the day
Yeah, I
after.
was gonna say that as well before we end the show. Whoever's watching us, if you're messaging me on Telegram now, I might just answer it tomorrow because it's pretty late. But because people sometimes we're active like until I'm usually active until the end of the night. And then at some point, I just stop responding, but it's just because I got to go to sleep. So,
yeah.
Well, I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to announce from Metaforce or CryptoMonkeys? Like anything that you'd like to say to the community, people watching this show or people who will watch this show?
So definitely at some point, once we figure it out, there'll be Metaforce rewards by going to that Metaforce land. I know I've talked with Corey about how it can be done, and eventually it's going to be figured out, and there'll be a way to do it. I definitely plan on once I know that there's going to be a way to like put up a sign, and then you can put a link on that. So definitely over the long term, once that's all figured out and how to do external links and all of that stuff, I'm probably going to leave things in places that people can go claim on Atomic Hub or somewhere, and it's going to be completely random. Like, don't message me and be like, hey, when do you I don't know,
where's my free NFT?
There was another night that I was in there and I was working and I got somewhere else and I was down and I completely got lost on my own land. Like, I didn't know where I was, and so I was just like, well, I'm just going to shoot straight up and I'm going to put an anti-reality booth there. And I popped out under the stadium and I'm like, okay, well, here's another entrance to the tunnels underneath the stadium. Sounds good. Nice. So there are a couple spots that I don't even know that I can get back to without getting lost. And there's going to be nights where I go down there and then I'm going to be like, I'm totally lost. I'm going to put a sign here. If somebody else gets lost here in this same way, they might get a Metaforce pack. Who knows? So,
I mean, usually we say that's what she said, but can I say that's what I said?
Yeah. Go get lost deep in a hole. See what you find. So yeah, there's going to be all kinds of stuff like that. And then I think that there's going to be similar type of stuff in CryptoMonkeys land. I know that CryptoMonkeys and Metaforce is always looking for different ways to do distribution. So we do have our pack sales and we're going to sell comic books, but we're also going to be continuing to give stuff away. Really, and that's the same idea with Left. Left has the same distribution model. And that's why we want to connect all this so people can go down there and be running around and be like, maybe they get a Left rabbit hole NFT, or maybe they get some Metaphor stuff, or maybe they get some CryptoMonkey cards or whatever.
I mean, if you want a Left rabbit hole NFT, just like get into crypto because you'll be left in the rabbit hole forever.
Yes. So yeah, there's going to be reasons to come and visit once we get that all set up, and then come and check it out. And if you have ideas, if you want to play soccer, if you want to have a giant 1,000-person snowball fight in a stadium, I know we've got one now. And yeah,
I mean, but seriously, how would that work? Like, I would love to. Like, I used to be a really big fan of like old school video game systems that didn't have great graphics, and I remember, playing like basically foosball soccer on some of these old Nintendo games, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm excited to see how well a square ball rolls in the Uplift. But like I want to figure this kind of stuff out, right? Like, can you imagine if like there's these things now where you can like encase yourself in like a giant bubble and you can play soccer where you're bashing and running into each other. But can you imagine, like, as weird as this sounds, and it's next level, right? Can you imagine playing something like the original Nintendo Super Spike Volleyball or the original Nintendo FIFA World Cup? Because in the Uplift, like if we get to that point, we're a hop, skip, and a jump away from like 3.0. Player one isn't ready anymore. It's already on the freaking moon. Like I kind of feel like that's the missing link, right? Like if we get that PvP football action or soccer action, like Madden action in your stadium, I know you're going to do whatever you can to make that happen. But that would be freaking awesome.
That would be really cool. I have no idea how to do it, but that would be super cool to do that type of thing.
Yeah, I think at this point, no one really does know how to do it, but it's I don't think it's impossible at all. It's just going to be a matter of time, right? Like at some point, like Jimmy said,
and if someone does know how to, if someone does know how to do it, I kind of might know some people that would pay you a lot of money to be able to tell us, right? I mean,
it's true. And the thing with that is because Minecraft, there's a lot of mods and things that already exist for Minecraft. I don't know, there might even be like a soccer mod or something, but it's just not that simple as well to implement because, the Uplift is a complex place, metaverse that demands a lot of integration with third parties and the crypto space and everything. So it's not as simple as but I've heard of a mod that can do this. It's like, but will it work in here? Like it's a lot of work, right? But at some point things like this will be possible, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good point, right? Like not everything is going to work. So if you just come to us and say, "Hey, we have a shader or a mod for that," well, then say thanks, but like we're not going to pay you tons of money for that. Just to put that out there on the table. Super Monkey Ball would be perfect in this world. I mean, I don't know what Super Monkey Ball means, but I kind of feel like Rob's not wrong.
Well, we'll figure it out, whatever it is. It's gonna be. I think it'll be cool, and I think, people are just gonna keep having ideas and seeing what other people are doing and use that as inspiration to come up with some other thing, and the space will just grow. There's a lot of property even in Genesis and definitely in the other maps now that people just kind of got it and we're speculating and aren't building yet, and over time those are going to get into the hands of builders and things are going to continue to crop up. So it's going to be interesting.
For sure. I agree. Yeah. There's still just so much to come. I mean, I can only imagine like to think that this all just started like a few months ago and look at the amount of stuff that's going on already. I can only imagine how this is all going to look in like a year time. Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I thank you so much for coming to this interview, man. That's been really a pleasure. I mean, I hadn't spoken to you in audio or video before, and it's really a pleasure to meet you. Yeah. And I appreciate all of the effort into remember all the history of your plot and all the stuff that you shared with us here. That was super cool.
Dude, definitely for anybody that wasn't around several months ago, go to the Uplifters YouTube and scroll back. Eventually you'll find it. I don't know if it was February or March or I don't remember when it was, but it was literally just like, let's just jump in here for the first time and see what's going on. And then I think it was either that stream or the next stream. We were like, let's get you some tools. Like, I think it must have been the second stream, because the first stream Corey was like, "Do you have a Minecraft account?" And I said, "No, I don't." He's like, "Get one for next Friday." And then I did. And then it was like, it's really weird. Like you go in and you'll see, like we walked onto CryptoMonkeys land and it was just empty. They were like, "I guess this will be where CryptoMonkeys is. Here's a bunch of sand. Let's start digging a hole here." And then we dig that hole and then there's some stairs and then we screw around down there. Like, watch that video and then go to the CryptoMonkeys land.
Yeah,
now
and then
like, oh,
cut,
this
cut,
room is
cut
that
to here
spot?
now and see what's being developed in there. Like,
yeah, it's so different, and it's kind of fun. Also, Corey and I used to do every Friday, and then once the land sales and stuff have really gotten busy, Corey's been so under demand that he's not been able to do it. So we miss a lot.
Are you still doing it, Recourier? Are you still doing it on your
We're
own?
in theory still doing it, but usually he gets double booked, and the other thing is more business critical, which I understand. So
well, I mean, I think you can take it over and have guest hosts if you want to continue on your own. I'm okay
maybe I can talk to you about how we would go about doing that.
Yeah, hit me up with that, and I'm happy to give you the credentials.
For you to have an idea, Corey should be in this show as well, but he just got busy, right? So this is lately it's been really hard to get a hold of him anyway.
Yeah.
But that's because he's just doing awesome stuff for the Uplift. So
yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, go back and watch those old streams, because it's just me and Corey like figuring out how this all is gonna work and just talking about stuff and like. What should we do here? What should we do here? It's really interesting history to kind of just play with.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think like I quite enjoyed your show, even though half the time you never got off of your own plot.
Yeah, we always had to say like, let's go everywhere, and then Cord would be like, whoa, what'd you do here? And we were just like, we never had any focus between Corey and I. We could never get focused at all, and we just go play around and stuff. But we did go into one of them. We went into Anders' temple and went all through all that, a little bit of an earlier iteration. And yeah, it's all like you literally watch me try and learn Minecraft live. And so it's not boring.
Yeah.
Morton MD, there was a show that tackled speech impediment, but not speech impediment, actually, mental disability. And I kind of feel bad, but I laughed. In answer to the question about the Uplift token on Elcar, well, the Uplift token right now, for all intents and purposes, is not really a token that is on exchanges. The way that the Uplift token works is that you have certain assets in your possession that will mine you Upliftium. And that Upliftium is actually used internally, and it's only actually measured internally and calculated internally on the enter.theuplift.world site where you put your Minecraft username and your credentials in there. And there are ways to get it through gameplay as well. When that mod, I don't know what we're calling it these days, but when that is turned on, there are ways to get it in the game, but there's actually no way to exchange it. Not to any exchange, not to Alcor, not to anything. The primary use for that token at present is to have JENS Gen super images installed into your wall. There may be a possibility
that it won't happen in the future, right? But
there may be a possibility in the future that something similar might exist on the open market, but this isn't actually something that we are going to do personally, or as a team. I mean, what other people do with it is kind of above and beyond our purview. But for all intents and purposes, this is to reward people for gameplay and within gameplay action. Now, there might be other things that come out, but this is kind of mostly above and beyond us. So we'll just, the dog years would be like 10, Uplift years is like maybe a few weeks at maximum. I'm going to say that.
Fair enough.
Recourier, I love having you on the stream. Hit me up after if you want to continue that show. I'd like, because I didn't do those, and I'm having a great time doing this with Cowie. I'm like this close to calling him, blew up, and just being like, give him more work, don't let him come back, because like I kind of like had just having Cowie all to myself with all these great guests. But it was really fun. It was really fun, and yeah, Corey will be back at the end of the week, but he might join us as well. But we don't need anything other than the beauty of the community. So for all of you people out there that are watching the show, and yes, totally, the sake is kicking in. That is no lie. However, the sake and the beautiful minds and hearts that like join us every day is something that we really relish. So Cowie, take it away. Recourier, you have any last words? I think we already said that 2 or 3 times, but Cowie, this is your chance to sign off. If it was your sign off, what would it be?
Jimmy, I have to brainstorm. What do you think that I should do for my sign off? I'm wondering. I'm not too sure.